So streaming. Okay. Please follow up the streaming also. If any problem, you please solve. Yeah. So shall I start, sir?
YouTube is streaming is on right. YouTube streaming.
It is started or okay. Shall I start then? Okay.
No, just you can check the thing YouTube because now we are directing everyone to YouTube. Yeah. Make sure that it is on. Yeah. Okay. YouTube seems to be on. Right.
Okay. Shall I start, sir?
Okay.
Greetings and good evening all. On behalf of the organizing unit CSI Chennai chapter, IEEE CS Madras and ACM Chennai, myself, Dr. Komathy, Chair, CSI Chennai is pleased to welcome the speaker of today's webinar and participants to this webinar on AI for democratization of the education sector. Now I invite Mr. H.R. Mohan, sir, Chair Events, IEEE CS Madras, to give the welcome address. Please, sir.
Greetings and good evening to one and all. Let me once again, on behalf of the organizing units, extend a warm welcome to our eminent speaker, Mr. Vidura Bandara Wijekoon, members and my colleagues from the organizing units and participants joined the Google Meet meeting as well as those watching the YouTube streaming. AI is democratizing various sectors and education is one of them. After e-learning, AI is having greater impact on education due to its flexibility and offering personalization. Recently, a well-recognized entrepreneur, investor, and technologist, whom all we know, Vinod Khosla, while discussing about the transformative potential of AI in education, had explained that in just half an hour, AI can assess the student's knowledge, identify gaps, and tailor teaching to address those gaps more effectively than a human tutor. He is willing to offer his AI-powered educational product free of cost to India and help Indian school children benefit from the power of AI and contribute for the nation's growth. AI is transforming education by making it more accessible, personalized, and effective. This presentation explores how AI can democratize education by creating adaptive learning experiences tailored to individual student needs. Intelligent tutoring systems provide personalized feedback, helping students learn at their own pace. AI can also create immersive and interactive educational content using AR VR, enhancing understanding and engagement. In addition to personalized learning, AI can streamline administrative tasks, allowing educators to focus more on teaching. Automated grading systems provide instant feedback and free up valuable time. AI-driven analytics offer insights into students' performance, enabling data-driven decisions to support at-risk students. Integrating AI in education promises a more equitable and inclusive learning environment, ensuring every student has the opportunity to thrive. This presentation will also explore the future of education through AI innovation. After this brief introduction and today's presentation, let me now formally introduce our speaker of the day, Mr. Vidura. Mr. Vidura is a seasoned professional with over 6 years of experience in AI, machine learning, and data science. As a co-founder and Chief Operating Officer of TriNet Innovations Private Limited, Vidura leads AI initiatives to solve societal problems. With a BSc degree in Electrical and Information Engineering background from the University of Ruhana, he has completed 37 projects and published numerous research papers. Mr. Vidura has conducted 38 workshops, mentoring over 100 freshers, students, and startup founders. His skills include neural network implementation, model deployment, and scaling. He has guided over 200 individuals in more than 25 countries. Mr. Vidura's expertise in Python and advanced machine learning methodologies make him a valuable addition in any team. So we have a seasoned person who has done quite a few projects in the uh, solving the societal problem, and education being one of the most important aspect in any country's progress. I am sure that his presentation is going to be of immense use to us. Now, let me request Mr. Vidura to enlighten our members and other participants on how AI is democratizing the education. Over to Mr. Vidura, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mohan, and welcome you all. Welcome the attendees, and welcome Dr. Komathy and all other academic members of CSI Chennai and Madras and ACM Chennai. So, welcome you all to the session of AI for democratization of education sector. I hope you will learn a lot about what AI actually brings to the table of students and teachers, and how we can use AI to change the what we are expecting in the classroom to the society and so on. So let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you can see my screen. So welcome you, and this is me. So I think Mr. Mohan actually gave a good description. As he mentioned, I'm certified data engineer and data scientist from Sri Lanka. Of course, the co-founder and CEO at TriNet Innovation Private Limited. And so the workshop agenda. So we are moving with the current challenges in education, and we are going to see how AI is transforming education, and the case studies and success stories, future prospects and emerging trends. Of course, we had to talk about it, like what we expect within the education. And the next thing is the ethical consideration and challenges. So we have a lot of tools and a lot of researches are going on with respect to AI education. And one main thing that we have to focus is the ethical considerability. So we have to see that how much ethical our tools and how much ethical our system. So then we move into the call to action, how you can contribute as a person, as a developer, as a principal, creator, like that. So how you can contribute to the AI in education. And finally, we are going to wrap it up with a good Q&A session. So I welcome you all to actively engage in the session. Feel free to ask the question. Any question is worth actually $1 million goal. So that's my motto. So yeah, I welcome you all. So if you feel like there's a technical issue on my side or your side, please let us know in the chat. And yeah, we can have a good discussion. So yeah, let me move with the slides. So yeah, this is about me. So I think this is actually with this experience that I want to mention, I actually developed some of the AI in education projects when I'm in the Umdina Sri Lankan chapter lead, and as well as co-founder and CEO of TriNet Innovation Private Limited. So when we are doing the projects, we have seen a lot of areas that should need to be addressed with AI. So the main thing about AI in education is address the student, address this teacher, and we have to make sure it's not about competing or finalizing the learning objectives of study module or anything. It's about mentoring and tutoring the next generation within our with the power of AI. So AI in education actually has a long boundary. So we will see. So the current challenges in education. So I hope like in here we have students like academic lecturers and like many other researchers as well. So I know these three mentioned points are like the well-known challenges in education. So now the famous and well-known tool internet. So with internet, people are connecting with, people are communicating, people are learning. So it's take like less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes to know something, like know something maybe like 1,000 or 10,000 miles away from here. So with this digital globalization, we have new current challenges in education. So the first one is the access and equity, and the second one is the personalization and engagement, and the third one is the teacher support and professional development. So the access and equity, so it's actually based on like how good we can actually give the quality of education to people. So it's actually interesting because as we know, region to region we have disparities in educational opportunities, so we have to make sure that we should give the max to the student, and if we do that we can get a maximum output from the student community, the whoever the learns something. So the quality of education and inclusive education is a big challenge because it's not like that every person or every student in every part of the region having the same kind of education. So it can be different actually. So that based on that we have a digital divide actually in the current world. So we have a digital divide. So because of this digital divide, so people are educated at some region and some people don't have access to the digital accessories. So this is a very big challenge in the current scenario. And the second one is the personalization and engagement. So as you can see, motivation and retention is like a most important link, like as a student to keep continue in learning something. So if you don't have motivation, so you less likely to be actually understand and learn about something. So and adapting curriculum is another thing. So student in like a class, so student have like different perspective, own mind. So it's about personalization. So in earlier days, like we have education system, the traditional education system, it actually focuses on like how much people actually passed and how how much proportion of the population actually supposed to be well qualified for the next level and so on. But with this digitalization, with this like education improvement over the time, like almost every country that understood like we need to go with the personalization. So students have different abilities, so we have to understand as teachers, as mentors, that student have different abilities and they can do different things. So adapting curriculum is like a big thing right now. So one student can do mathematics and other student can do music, whatever. So that's the differentiation. So based on this, and governments are trying to do this personalization. So this is a big challenge with respect to education. So that's one other big challenge that we have. And the next one is the teacher support and the professional development. So teacher shortage actually we can experience in some of the regions in some countries, and that actually because of the higher population in some countries and the lesser resources actually in some countries. And the next thing is the lack of professional development is happening right now. So, I mean, some of the countries actually, that's another big challenge. And integration of the technology also appears in some like the third world countries and second world countries. So because of that, the integration of technologies, like there are like gaps with this technology assessment. So people cannot learn something and people cannot develop themselves. So that's another big challenge that we have to face. And I need to mention the one size fits all approach, which I have not mentioned in the personalized engagement, because this one size fits all approach refers to the standardized teaching method and apply the same instructional strategies and paste to all students, regardless of their individual learning needs. So this thing actually spread across these three challenges. So we make sure like the approach assumes that all students learn in the same way at the same rate. So it's not the thing, okay? So we have to make sure this each of the challenge can be removed with the advancement of AI. And let's say how AI is transforming education. So as per the statistics of the AI research, the AI white paper that released in 2024, the earliest new 2024. So the AI powered tools such as adaptive learning platforms can boost student engagement up to 40% and improve the academic performance by providing customized tutoring and support. And next big thing is by reducing up to 20% of administrative burden, AI helps the educators to dedicate more time to personalized instruction and developing student critical thinking. This is a big thing. So now we can focus on student performance, and we can more and more actually tutor them and guide them as mentors about, okay, how you can plan your future, how you can apply your knowledge and use it with AI to do better to the people. And the next thing is AI tools can be tailored to support neurodiverse students and those with physical disabilities. I know like that in the society, in the students, among students, there are like people who have the disabilities. So we can use AI to make a better world for them as well. So according to the white paper, the making education equitable and reducing the dropout rates by 10%. That's a good scope. 10% is a good scope because this dropout rate can be reduced because of AI. So that means like the people who are coming industry, people are coming to the GDP is getting higher. So this is actually indirectly impacting our as well. So you can see like with practical example how AI is transforming education, like with the percentages. And these two good resources and AI-driven adaptive learning platforms, I have to mention. The first one is the Khan Academy. Khan Academy's AI tutor, Canvigo, and the second was the Duolingo Max. So these two adaptive learning platforms actually their content actually created a difficulty-based student performance by analyzing the real-time data. So they have used the quiz scores, the response time, and the learning patterns, and then dynamically modify the complexity. So if you go there, the Khan Academy's AI tutor, Canvigo. So let me switch to there. So you can see this is their website. So you can see this actually AI. So we can chat with that, and we can actually interact with the bot, and we can do a lot of activities and for the research like conversation. So you can see if I go down, I mentioned their abilities and their price packages. Likewise, they have mentioned that. So you can see like it's a 24/7 code reviewer. So it has like different speaking styles. Like it has fine-tuned to give the academic answers, unlike ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, I think you all know about this ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is like a general fine-tuned model, but we can fine-tune it for our purpose, actually, of course. But the Camingo also kind of like chatbot platform, actually fine-tuned to give the answers, do the academic conversation more and more. So that's a very good product coming with Khan Academy. And the second one is the Duolingo Max. So this is the Duolingo Max. I think you can see this screen as well. So the learning experience powered by GPT-4. So this model also powered by GPT-4. So they have an app actually, which actually like easy to interact with the user. So it actually like when we are doing something, so when we are doing some like language interactive activity, that app itself mention the mistake and giving the solution, giving the suggestion. Okay, this is how you should correct it and how you should do it, like with the further clarification. So this app is actually a good application in terms of the adaptive learning application. So you can see there are other features as well. So I want you to like try these apps as well. And there's like a video as well if you want to find out like more about this actually. So yeah, Khan like Flamingo and the Duolingo Max are like they are driven learning platforms, and there are more actually. Okay, so there are more, so we can explore. And yes, we go to the next slide. So there are other AI tutors and assistant as well. So we can have Google Socratic and Edmodo, and these are actually give the students to like discuss how they answer the questions and provide explanation, like different explanation. Because if you see mathematics, science, and algorithmic like subjects, so students need to have a good idea of how to solve the problem. It's not about like 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's not about like differentiating something or integrating something. So you have to know how to solve it step by step. So in that way, if you see like a problem in the same domain at a different area, you can solve that problem in like a different style. So that's the importance of like following a sequence, following the steps. So as we know, so this Socratic, the Wolfram Alpha, the MyScript, and Maple Calculator. So these tools actually they have different features, but they all contributed to this R&D work. So let me just open this Wolfram Alpha and just show it to you. So this Wolfram Alpha, so you can see like it differentiates each subject. So with respect to mathematics, with respect to science and technology, society and culture, the everyday life. So you can see it has like different sections. So based on the section that you want, you can have this conversation and you can get good answers. So I think this is a good progress, like with respect to AI in education. This is actually democratization. So you can see different subjects are there. So the knowledge has been like different places, but in a like a proper manner. So this is a very good thing actually. So we have the adaptive learning platforms, and we can reduce the educators' administrative burden by 20%, as it mentioned, because we can focus more on the personalization. So yeah. So the next thing is the MyScript as well. So just click it and show it to you. So this thing you can see like there are 3 options like math, write, and diagram. So this is also an application that actually gives students to like have like a more graphical representation along with solving the problem, and that's a good tool as well. And the next one is the Maple Calculator. That's also another thing. And the benefits is like the availability for student support, and reduces the burden on teachers by handling routine queries actually. Okay. So how AI tutors supplement human educators and improve access to help? That's another thing that we have to focus. So like we have 24/7 support. Okay. So we have the 24/7 support, so they can answer the routing questions, offering explanation, and it helps students to receive immediate help outside classroom hours. But at the same time, like we have to know like these tools actually help students to get more exposure about the problem, and like we need another support system to tell this is how you should use AI. And this is how you should use AI as teachers. So I will talk about this in the ethical environment, like in the later stage. But yeah, I should mention in here as well. So another thing is like AI actually uses natural language processing. That's actually a subdomain of AI to understand and respond to student inquiries and reducing the burden on teachers. And like we need to see and review these applications with the human support, and like as like people as teachers, like we can actually give and analyze like whether these answers are good or bad, like a manual review. And as well as we can, based on the review that we can have, we can fine tune our models to give better answers with better explanation. So that's like most important thing when we are going to supplement human educators and improve access to health. And the next thing is the administrative automation. So the best, like the hot topic is the AI for grading actually. So as we know, like we have turnitin AI for like the capture the plagiarism, AI plagiarism in the reports, and like there are another like the AI tools are coming up. So we have some of like toolkit for the AI for grading as well. But at the same time, we have to see like the results given by the AI for grading section, whether it is like giving like straight yes or no answers, like based on the use case scenario, is it giving the good answer? Is it giving the right answers? Like we need to make some like rule-based approach for the AI for the grading aspect as well. Maybe like for example, like for a same question, there might be like 5 or 6 answer variations available. But if we kept one answer variation is acceptable for that question, so maybe 5 variations that student approaches might be get resulted as wrong. So we need to fine tune our model or our tool which created for AI for grading for all those variation and give support and give motivation for the students. Okay, you have get this approach, but this is the right approach. So you have done a pretty good job at the first instance, but you need to learn this as well. So like that, we can use this AI for grading as an administrative automation, as well as giving a student like a motivation. So it actually saves time for educators and like ensures consistency. So which can give this like administrative to like the have the time for the more research and development and for more product development as well. And the next thing is the attendance and scheduling. So the facial recognition for the attendance tracking and automated scheduling and reminders are 2 use cases that in the research world there are like research papers are coming out these 2 topics. So using facial recognition, like people can be identified and track attendance tracking, and automated scheduling and reminders can help keep track of the things that we are doing as an academia. And the next thing is the reducing workload. So as I have mentioned, like we can focus more on teaching and student interaction. And furthermore, like the AI has the potential to increase the learning efficiency by 50%, improve access to resources, and optimizing administrative processes. So it's like we actually elevating our teaching and learning experience, and we can freeing up teachers' time for more interactive and personalized teaching, because personalized teaching is a big thing, and that's where the world is right now going. So like whatever the country is not adapted to personalized teaching, like people should be able to do the personalized teaching. So because people are different one and to each other. Yeah. So next we move into the case studies and success stories, which is like a most important part, because through here you can understand like how real world applications of AI education able to change the world, like how they have actually made progress so far, likewise. So the first one is the AI in remote learning. So this is a very good thing, because the remote learning and remote virtual experience actually have begun to rise when the COVID has hit us. So nearly 2020. After that, the Zoom usage, the Google Meet usage actually getting increase and increase. So people actually get to know, okay, we can actually connect like virtually more and more. Like it actually reduces the transportation cost whenever in the job, whenever the education, and so on. So like with that remote learning, remote working period, so that has happened. And also with the schools and universities, the remote learning actually happened. It has started, like delivering the lecturers, delivering the exams where the remote. So it has also started. So with that we can have 2 examples. The first one is Squirrel AI. So the Squirrel AI learning offers their personalized learning experience to the students in remote areas, and like reduce the educational gap between urban rural communities. So this is a very like a big issue that we can see, like urban rural community knowledge gap. So this should be removed, and all people can understand like what are the basics thing that they need to know. So the Squirrel AI learning, actually they are trying to do this by personalized learning experience, so people have like different aspects of understanding something. So let's say differentiating like an equation, so how student A can understand might be different to how student B, or maybe how students see, like memorizing how to do that. Method is same, but storing in her or his brain is very different. That's when this personalized learning experience is very important. So Squirrel AI learning is like a one like option. And the next one is the that with the partnership between the Carnage Learning and the new class used AI to improve math skills and academic outcomes in low income schools. So this is actually a real use case that has happened. And in the USA, so there are higher dosage tutoring programs delivered over 72,000 live sessions, helping over 13,000 students with a 70% growth rate in academic performance. This is a like very good one, because with the national average, like 70% is like a big score. So you can see like how it like important. And the next thing is I have to mention like with this supporting students in remote and undeserved areas, like we have to make sure that people are receiving this like resources, and people are actually learning from this remote learning. So with that, actually there's another thing. So this with bridging the language gap. So the language gap is another one, because AI driven language translation is happening right now with Google Translate, and it actually enables the real-time translation across multiple language and making educational content accessible to non-native speakers. So like these tools actually able to give not only the knowledge, but how to actually interact with different languages and different cultures. So and my like for example, let's say a simple gesture, like a simple gesture can be different like to different communities. Some people can identify this simple gesture as like a friendly gesture, or like a bad gesture, like that. There's like a language translation, like with AI driven language translation. Not only it actually deal within like the textual language, but also it deals with the cultural background as well. So this is a new thing to the like the people. So like you are not just not speaking only the words, you have to see like who this person, like what is his cultural like ethnic like the limitation, how he or she approaches as well. This is like a new thing in with respect to AI education, like empowering empathy like with the learning. And the next thing is that I need to mention like the digital learning platforms incorporating AI, like specifically the applications like mobile apps are piloted to support children in emergencies and those outside the formal schooling. So which actually focuses on like removing the language barriers as well. And next thing is the accessibility for the special need education. So as I have mentioned, like the student with disabilities, like resolving the issues with the students with disabilities is a, like an important thing. So we are using Microsoft immersive reader. So this is like one of the solution. So that this tool actually assists students with dyslexia or like other learning disabilities by providing personalized reading support. So this is the one good use case that has actually happened, and there are other tools as well. So this is like a famous one. And the another thing is like I have to mention these statistics as well. So you can see this graph. So this is number of registered users and students created of this the online school. So with AI enabling learning platforms, like they actually stand for provide accessible digital textbook and learning resource for children with disabilities. So with this online school, you can see that number of registered users are like significantly it increases. Okay, so it is happening, you can see like how good these like people are trying to learn with the mathematics, and like how the comprehensive grades are like rising. So the performance improvements actually getting like riser, and it's getting higher and higher. So that's a good thing that we can see with respect to special need education. So which able us as teachers and students more inclusive classroom environment to students with special needs. And the next one is the Intel real case study. One other that good use case that I'm going to mention. So they are Intel's AI solution in education. So their program is like AI for youth. So Intel has developed an AI-based solution like AI for Youth, a global program aimed at empowering students with digital literacy and AI skills. So this is another good thing that I need to mention. So as you can see in India, actually, Intel's AI program has helped students in rural areas to develop AI-based projects to solve local challenges, and which showcase the potential of AI to transform education for undeserved communities. So it actually reached over 1 lakh students across 10 countries, providing access to cutting-edge AI learning tools. So with this, like they actually given chance to like face their products and give the products via the AI hackathons, and maybe even like marketize their product as well. So this is like a very good example that we can see like how we can use in AI in education to promote more education, like how to educate more people. And yeah, so another thing that I want to mention, like, so now we are in kind of like middle of our like session. So the next thing I just want to mention is that AI powered mentorship and career guidance. So I know this is like a very good, like very new one. So like we have platforms in the current scenario, Future Fit AI and Ed Sites. So these AI platforms, they are using machine learning algorithms to analyze student skills and interest and academic performance, and to recommend suitable career paths and educational opportunities. This is a very good use case because like most of the people like in like the past generation, they actually unable to understand how their skills or interest or maybe academic performance align with their interest. Like a lot of people actually chosen their career based on the salaries or like someone's recommendation or something, but the choosing the right career path should be like well directed, and it should be like well decided, like analyzing what are the options that the student have and what path the student should have. So this AI powered mentorship and career guidance is like a revolution one, because within a lesser amount of time the person can decide, okay, this is the career path that I need to follow. That doesn't mean like, okay, the highest salary job is on the skill, based on the interest, based on the characteristic of the person. The AI can tell, okay, this is the path you have to follow, even though you are having like a middle level salary. So what actually motivate you to work at there? So you can see like personalized guidance is more important with the learning and with the guiding. So AI provides this tailored advice based on individual student data. So it helps them to make informed decision about their career paths. And another thing is these platforms actually offer mentorship at scale. So it actually supporting a large number of students who may not have access to traditional career counseling services. So people actually having it like the salaries, and they actually demand sometimes the career guidance people, I mean they're actually demanding like a higher range to do the counseling service. So there's like a limitation with not having good amount of money to pay for this counseling service. So this AI powered mentorship and career guidance, some of the apps are like in free trial, and also they have like a lesser amount to like use those apps, so they can actually do their personal guidance. And also I need to mention the LinkedIn Career Explorer tool. So I know the most of the people are here in LinkedIn. So there is a like option called LinkedIn Career Explorer tool. So it actually use like AI to identify new career paths by analyzing skills and job market data. So I know in the LinkedIn Premium, there's a large language model rack implemental chatbot. So that chatbot able to actually understand what is the profile of the relevant student or relevant person, and able to give recommendation and type of career paths and whether this job is good or bad, like how much given by this AI powered mentorship. So this is a very good area that if we had to focus when we are thinking of the AI in education. And gamification and interactive learning. So this is another thing. So not all people are like to read or research hours and hours. Like people actually naturally they are trying to do something new, and they're trying to learn with the experience. That's how humans are. Like human is like a experiment animal. So he's trying to do experiment. He has that curiosity, and with the curiosity he can do like good things, bad things. But anyway, at the end of the day, he tries to learn by experience. That's what human is. So this gamification and interactive learning, according to psychologists as well, is a very good technique to teach and learn something. So AI is being integrated to educational games and interactive platforms like Kahoot and Quizlet. So I think whenever you attend a session, whenever you attend getting a feedback form, you might come across this Kahoot and Quizlet. So which actually enhancing the engagement through personalized learning experience and real-time feedbacks. So I can mention key features. So the first one is the adaptive challenges. So AI adjusts the difficulty of quizzes and games based on the student performance. So when the students actually answer in something, like let's say he or she answered 5 questions consecutively with a lesser amount of time, and there might be the 1 or 2 answer gone wrong, but the majority of the question that he or she answered a very difficult one, the AI can adjust difficulty of quizzes and understand, okay, this student has the potential to do something, or no, this student IQ is a little bit low, so we had to manually gradually actually train him to be better. Likewise, so another one is the immersive learning. That's another one. So using VR and AR, like augmented reality and virtual reality, we can combine that with AI to provide immersive simulations, so which can enhance the conceptual understanding, and we can increase their interactivity. So in the physical classes, another big issue is keep the students the performance and their focus on the study. It is a very hard thing. So that doesn't mean you have to focus straightly 1 hour, 2 hour, but it is impossible. So with this gamification and interactive learning, you can focus them to listen to the the module, or listen to the lecture, listen to the session, or learn something. So in that way, the person actually learning, actually they can learn by interest. So this is a very good thing with AR and VR. So the student can get more and more feedback, and they can learn. The Minecraft is, I think some of you know about this game. So using Minecraft, they have the education edition. So they uses AI to create interactive lessons in history, mathematics, and science. So this is actually applies to the schools, actually the pre-elementary schools and elementary schools. They are using this to make the lesson more engaging and interactive, because as a human, our early development age is the better age to learn and give a good foundation. With the foundation, we can learn a lot of complex studies. So this gamification interactive learning is a most important thing. And the next one is the AI research and knowledge sharing. So AI tools as Semantic Scholar and Google Scholar, and there are other Perplexity, and there are some of the tools they actually use in the large language models and NLP to help researchers and students find relevant academic papers and resources more efficiently. So AI quickly shift through vast amount of research data, so they can search millions of data and get identified key insight and trends, and they can facilitate this knowledge and tell, okay, this is the knowledge part that we have searched, you have to more refer these researchers as well. And about the open access resources like platforms like Core, Archive, like they are using AI to make research papers and educational content freely available. So they're promoting the global knowledge sharing. So whenever, let's say, like the researcher from the England, when he done something to some subject and he has some like found something, so with respect to that research, the similar researchers maybe in India, Sri Lanka, Japan, or Australia, like or other part of the world, they can be matched, and we can see like how that subject can be improvised. What are the knowledge gaps between like several 4 to 5 researchers? And one other thing is like there's a tool called Junior, so it has a AI generated content, so it summarize and give the visual abstract, which make complex research more accessible. So as a non-expert, let's say as a person who is a non-expert, want to know something in some domain, so this tool actually able to create a good summary and tell in a very simplified manner. So in that way, so the person who doesn't know, like let's say like a non-technical expert, a non-technical person, actually get an understanding and learn. So this is a very good use case. And the next thing is the most important one: ethical consideration and challenges. So we have to have a good idea about how we use the tool, when we use the tool. Okay, so I have mentioned like students are using AI tools, teachers are using AI tools, and the whole pipeline are using AI tools. So it's not about increasing the efficiency, it's not about saving the time. You have to make sure what is the impact of using AI, what has happened to our creativity, what has happened to our, let's say, the performance, how we can review what we have done. Okay, so the first one is the data privacy and security, and the second one is the bias in AI algorithms. So this is more technical bias. As a developer, you have to mention that like you have to focus on that. And the third is teacher-student relationship. So if we use the data privacy and security, we have to focus on the importance of protecting student data. So we have to compliance with regulation like FERPA and GDPR, and we have to use the technique like differential privacy to anonymize data. So it's about like we have to like anonymize data, and we have to make sure the student the data not compromised. And the next one is the bias in AI algorithms. So we are using different AI like machine learning models based on like how student basically user interact with the tool, maybe text, maybe image, maybe video, maybe audio. So based on the data type, so the machine learning or deep learning technique can be different. So we have to discuss this risk of bias AI systems, like in the education. So the need for diverse data sets and regular audits to ensure fairness and equity. So if algorithm is biased to produce something favorable to some section, or it means that it cannot be it cannot be reliable. So it is unreliable. And the next one is the teacher-student relationship. So what does this mean? So this emphasizes the need for a balance between AI and human interaction. So AI supplements but does not replace the critical human element in education. So we are not like replacing a human teacher with AI teacher. We need teacher like human, because the people are different actually. The emotions are actually coming to role when we are delivering the education, and when we are teaching something. So we need to understand, we need to personalize. That's why this personalized learning actually comes to play. So if there are like 40 people in the classroom, you have to understand the 40 people mindsets, because there are 40 mindsets in the 40 people in the classroom. So with AI, we can actually automate what we are really doing right now. We can reduce the time for doing those general tasks, and using the general tasks, students, what they can do is they can use AI to extract more information rather than copying something, or rather than copying or like paraphrasing something. They can use, let's say, okay, You actually genuinely you actually use your knowledge to write something and doing some calculation. Furthermore, further exploring, you can use AI. You can use AI to like do powerful research on the internet and find more information about that. And you can do that fact checking, like whether this generated is right or wrong. Because the thing is like from the machine learning side, the model what we are telling is model hallucination. So it's typically happening is the large language model enabled chatbots. So you can see it providing wrong answers. So with ChatGPT, the most famous one, and the Google Code, we can see some model hallucination. Like even though we have given the right question, it does not provide like a good answer. So likewise, it gives like good answers. So we have to make sure like the human does not replace, and the AI is there. AI is giving a good answer, and AI is doing that part. As humans, what we are doing is we have to review the learning process. We have to manually review that. Okay, student got the idea, and whether the student get a right idea to apply the knowledge for the good causes. So this is actually part of the ethical consideration and challenges. So you can see like how it's important. So it's like you have a knife, you can choose like using the knife what to do. Yeah, you can kill a person, or you can use the knife to like cut the vegetables. So like that, you have to make sure this how you use AI. And with respect to education, so you can use AI in education to fast forward the scientific development, and as well as the development in every industry. So the ethical consideration is like a important one. And the next one is the data privacy and security. So with respect to data privacy and security, I have just explained the same thing, but need to mention about the protecting student data from unauthorized access and breaches is critical. So the education institute, they are actually handling large amount of personal data as grades, learning habits, and personal identifier. So I have mentioned this FERPA, Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, and in US and GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. This is actually in EU to ensure student data handled ethically and securely. And with respect to bias and AI's algorithms, so AI system trained on biased data can perpetuate stereotypes for unfairly disadvantaged. So the biasness is very dangerous. And the next one is the ensuring AI model are tested and adjusted to avoid the biased outcomes. That's another thing we need to maintain the fairness and equality in education settings. And the next one is ask for the solution. We need to make sure the bias mitigation techniques. So if we can see the bias, we can use diverse data sets to remove the bias, and we can have more equitable AI systems. And the regulator audits and updates to AI models are necessary to prevent the reintroduction of biases. Okay, then next thing is then teacher-student relationship. Of course, I have mentioned over-reliance on AI is very dangerous, especially students. Like I have seen the people actually using AI to copy something, generate something, but over depends on AI tools like chatbots and automated assessments, which actually reduce meaningful teacher concept, meaningful teacher-student interaction. So we can use them to brainstorm the knowledge and what AI can think. For brainstorming, AI is like a very perfect tool, but for knowledge extraction, like skipping the hard work to do something, it's a very dangerous thing. And for the student understanding, the AI may struggle with the nuisance aspect of student behavior and understand, because they don't have the emotional capability to understand how students have this personalized learning aspect. The human can have that, but we can fine tune AI to do that with the human support. So it's like AI to human like a co-relationship. We have to have that. So we can actually create an AI assistant assessment which helps teachers understand student faces and progress. No, so like within the data range that the AI assistant bots have, so they can actually understand and give the recommendation to the teacher. Okay, this is how student progress, and this is what I'm thinking that students should learn. Likewise, so the teacher-student relationship can be enhanced more and more. with the introduction of AI. So the call to action, how you can contribute: educators, policymakers, and developers. So as an educator, as a policymaker, as a developer, how you can contribute is the most important thing. Okay. So for educators, I just explained like we have adaptive learning tools and we have virtual tutors. So we need to see like how individual student needs and how we can enhance student engagement and learning outcomes. And the next one is the how we can integrate AI concept and critical thinking into curriculum and prepare students for future for where they will work with. And the next thing is we need to make sure that teachers can use AI tools like ChatGPT or like I have mentioned, Khan Academy's AI-driven lesson to supplement their teaching and provide instant feedback on student performance. So these all third-party AI tools that I have mentioned, these are actually very beneficial in terms of reducing your time and in terms of increasing of your efficiency. At the same time, you have to make sure students are also educated to learn and educated to use AI in a proper way. So in that way, students are not cheating and students are not like getting into shortcuts. So there, I mean, if we teach students like how you should use the AI to for a better purpose by maybe changing the curriculums, like changing the module grades, like activities. So students are willing to use the AI for the better purpose. So instead of using the AI for cheating, they will use the AI to deliver more and more products or learn something or teach something. So this is how we should, as educator, use AI tools in the classroom. So you can introduce the AI tools to do more brainstorming and break the limitation of the domains. And the next thing is the for policymakers. So as we know, establishing the AI task force, like we can use comprising educators, students, and AI experts to guide the development implementation of AI policies in schools. So we can develop policies which ensure the ethical use of AI in schools. So we can focus on data privacy, security, and equitable access. So in that way, what happening is the policymakers, they can use the past data. So the past historical, like say up to 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, how education system has changed, how people actually learn the system and how much jobs actually produced through the government. Then you can see like productivity part, how the productivity has been rise or dropped down. So you can see like as the policymakers, what sections you need to address. So this will help to mitigate the risks, maybe bias algorithms, maybe data breaches. From there to like how to personalize the AI knowledge to the people. And for that, we can actually fund professional development programs to train educators on effective use of AI and incorporate AI literacy into standard curriculum. So this is how, as policymakers, support AI literacy and capacity building. And for the developers, it's also another important thing. So as I mentioned, in the ethical environment, so it's important to focus on ethical AI design. So we need to develop AI tools that are transparent, unbiased, and respect of the student data privacy. So we can have diverse data sets and we have bias detection mechanism to ensure fairness. Another thing is like we can create AI tools to support students with disabilities and work on platforms wherein technological capability to reduce the digital divide. So for the support of research and innovation, so we can collaborate with educators and researchers to develop AI solutions which actually address the real classroom challenges. So this might be a virtual tutor or might be an AI-driven assessment tool that I just explained. So yeah, actually this is the kind of like the whole summary that I need to mention. So I think you might have like good questions. So feel free to reach out to me. So this is my mail, and personal number, and I'm available in LinkedIn and Facebook also. So I think yeah, we can move into our Q&A session.
Thank you, Vidura, sir. So now I try to give some of the questions raised by the participants while they registered for the program. So most of the questions were around AI for research, AI tools for research, and AI for AI and ethics in education, which was extensively covered by the speaker during his presentation. Only one question, which is very inquisitive, which I would like to present to the speaker now. Given that AI in education can provide personalized and adaptive learning experiences, what measures can be taken to mitigate the risks of students receiving inaccurate or inappropriate information, and how might these risks impact the role of AI in promoting democratic values in education? Over to Vidura, please.
Yeah.
Can I repeat again? Do I need to repeat again?
No, I heard the question. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So the most important part is like you need to understand is that education, like we need to understand like how it democratized so far. Okay. So it's given that it actually given that personalized and adaptive learning experience. So with respect to measures that we need to understand like how well that AI tools has been spread all over the world. For the students using like third-party AI tools, teachers are using third-party tools. So there are like significant risks for each of the parties, like how likely to be getting like a good result. So to mitigate the risks of the students, so I think first one is that we need to ensure the models like AI models are trained on diverse and verified data sources to prevent bias and misinformation. That's one thing that I can like suggest, and human oversight. So we can incorporate human in the loop models. So educators can review AI generated content. We can ensure it's like whether it's good, whether it's accurate, whether it is appropriate, likewise. And the next one is the transparent algorithms. So transparent algorithm is like we can explain our decision making process. So how we approach a solution. So in that way, we can allow educators and students to understand the source or the context of the information provided. And the next one is the same thing that we are applying right now, the feedback loops. Okay, so the feedback loops means like when we are deliver something, we are getting a feedback, and we discuss and we brainstorm, and the next session we are again delivering something new. So in that way, students and teachers to provide on the feedback on our tool, it actually consistently increasing the content accuracy. So I think those that I have mentioned right now are good solutions that we can provide.
Okay, thank you. So with no questions from the chat box, I would request the participants, if you want to ask directly to the speaker, you can unmute and then ask the question, please. If anybody would like to ask questions directly to the speaker, please unmute and then put your query.
Vidura, you can switch on your camera, Vidura.
Yeah, definitely. You can switch on the camera. Vidura, okay, fine. Anybody has question?
I mean, can you tell something related about the cost aspects of implementing such technologies? I mean, how expensive or what are the infrastructure requirements and other aspects?
You can say about from a simple model to a very, very sophisticated model. So what would be the price range?
For example, if school wants to go in for this type of setup, how to go about, and then what type of budget requirement for this?
Yeah. So as for now, like we are actually in the AI evolution like pipeline. We are actually in the stage of generative AI. That means we are actually dealing with larger data sets with the large language models, and we are not only dealing with the text. We are dealing with the text to image, text to video, text to audio, like data types. That means the cloud technologies that we are right now, like AWS, Azure, those are actually have been developed, and with the current technology we can actually build a simple model easily from your home, like from your laptop. So there are like a lot of tutorials how to do that, and like there are public data sets available as well. So with the free trial of like such like cloud technologies, model training platforms, you can just develop a simple free tool like within and like with nothing actually. Okay, so if you want to keep the model and like let's say real time assessment or real time detection or like likewise prediction, then you need to buy more like GPUs, like buy more like the cloud storage, and you need to like, if you want to have like a CI/CD pipeline with like the with a extensive like model training, then you have to like develop your like the cost budget, like for the monthly, how should I train, so how the tool is going to train the model. Likewise, then you can actually gradually raise your budget and so on and so on. But uh, you can actually create like a tool, like for the simple tool. For example, let's say if you want to create a tool, let's say the tool that I have just explained like in the beginning of the session, so you are using the computer vision to understand the student the entrance to the your lecture, like there's like 40 students, like you need to maintain the attendance. So using the computer vision, so with there you can just say like you have to collect some data actually. So this is actually image processing. So you can actually have 2 minute, not 2 minutes, sorry, 2 second or 3 second video clips, and create like a data set, consider like 40 clips or 60 clips. So you have like a set of data. Video clips might not show the face of the person, so it should be clean. So you can clean the data and have like 50 video clips. So with that you can do some kind of like analysis on the color depth and identify like the real person features. So we have the eyes, nose, mouth, and the same characteristic of every human, and based on that we can develop like a computer vision model. So and which understand, okay, this person is there, so this person matches with this registration number and the name, and the next person like
This may not be the immediate requirement for schools. Basically, what I want to know is like, suppose they want to set up a AI powered instructional system in a school.
Mhm.
So what type of investment is required? See, this attendance monitoring and sort of, those things may not be of immediate need. See, the school, they want to sort of, first step is to introduce the learning, like, personalization and things like that, to set up that facility.
So you need to know,
Start at the simple solution. Then this attendance and assessment and all this thing could be a sort of add-on. So many places they are still, they are not. Some of the government schools not having sufficient internal funding. So they need to go in for such facility. So which means what are the things we may require and how to go about. And so that, the idea is that organizations like Computer Society of India and IEEE and things like that can get some funding from some of the well-wishers, and then we can implement such a solution in schools.
yeah, that's a good question. So setting up like a AI instruction tool that you have mentioned, So we need to make sure the instruction citations are in manner, and those who are following, like maybe students, our teachers, and all of the parties should be understand and follow these rules as well. So for like setting up a such tool, so we need to make sure the first one is like maintenance cost with along with the building cost. So if we, let's say, create a tool such that we need to the first mention on like model development. So for the model development, we can have in the technical terms, I must tell, like there's a sufficient cost for model training actually. So using the cloud technologies or using some kind of GPUs. So we have a significant cost.
Vidura, you are talking about developing it.
Yeah,
We are talking about a tool available, and can we just implement?
Initiate this action.
Yeah, of course. So if we are using third-party tools actually, so let's say like Intel's AI as well. So and the Watson IBM. So there are tools, some of the Intel AI tools like $4 per month, and the Khan Academy tool also they have the range as well. So what we need to do is that some organization, they are offering the for the schools, they are offering their specific plans to the students. If we can have our write down the purpose, and if we can have mention the the student, the audience that actually receiving the benefits, we can have that actually tool for the low cost.
One more thing with it, because if the tool is proprietorship, we buy it, we model it. Okay, we can just make our teachers the presenting person, not Khan Academy or something is already somebody will fabricate the materials. So what we are looking at is a tool can be purchased, installed for our purpose, our own curriculum, our own teachers and our own students can interact and then do it. Do we have such tools which is available?
The thing is
because it's a school environment, the data may not be such heavy, so we don't need a cloud technology.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have 100% accurate for now actually customized tool. This is actually right now. So that's why I just explained the process, because some organization, research organization, they are given the institution to join with them and collaborate with them. So that's why the people, so the people from the supported collaboration. So based on the real-time data on the school and institution, they are creating their own database. So for that, I just explained how this is happening, because that's how we need to develop our budget as well.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Up to now, we don't have 100%.
Okay.
Any further question from the audience? Please unmute your mic and then you can ask. Okay, with no further questions, shall I go for vote of thanks, sir?
Yeah, please go on.
Good evening all once again. On the outset, I thank the organizing units jointly arranging this webinar on the necessity to reform the education process with AI tools. My heartfelt thanks to Mr. Vidura Bandara Wijekoon for his presentation of AI for democratization of education sector. In summary, his presentation explored how AI can democratize education by creating adaptive learning experiences personalized to individual students' needs. He highlighted current challenges in education such as access and equity, personalization and engagement, and shortage of teachers and lack of professional development, and the integration of technology in education. These are the challenges. AI transforming education in such a way to provide adaptive learning platforms customizing tutoring support, learning support for neurodeprived students to reduce and also to reduce the admin burden too. He brought out some of the apps such as Canmigo from Khan Academy, Duolingo, Socratic from Google, Wolfram Alpha, MyScript, Maple Calculator, which provide adaptive learning platforms. He elaborated how AI tutors support human educators and improve access to help. He also discussed how AI streamlines the administrative jobs like grading, attendance, scheduling, reducing the teacher's workload. He also deliberated the use cases with benefits, and he talked about the Squirrel AI for remote learning to reduce the gap between urban and rural students, AI-driven language translation from Google, which enhances the learning, special needs education by Microsoft Immersive Reader, which provides learning environment for children with disabilities. Intel AI for Youth program is made for especially rural students. Future Fit and EdSites is an AI-powered mentorship and career guidance platform. And AI-driven gamification and interactive learning like Gadoot, Quizlet, and Minecraft for school students. Tools for AI and research and knowledge sharing such as Core, Archive, and Junior. Finally, the presentation covered the ethical challenges such as data privacy and security, bias in algorithms, student-teacher relationships. Educators, policymakers, and developers need to align to enhance the learning environment for students. My heartfelt thanks again goes to Mr. Vidura for clarifying the questions raised by the participants offline and online as well. I sincerely thank our mentor, Mr. H.R. Mohan, Chair Events IEEE CS Madras, who successfully arranged this webinar for the benefit of the members. I'm thankful to the participant who joined us in live Google Meet and YouTube live stream. I thank the event team members of the organizing units for their support in organizing this event. With these warm words, we move to the end of today's event. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very formal, this one, but it was fantastic, Vidura. So the presentation covered the entirety of education.